What is going on, everyone? My name's Boyt, and I'm back with some more Age of Empires 4 action. We almost slipped there, but I didn't. I didn't slip. Age of Empires 4, but we're not too far away from mythology here. If you guys remember, Avely is back and he is playing some Age of Empires for us here on this auspicious of occasions. Avely is one of those guys who was like a monster vanilla player and also Titan's god. This guy was so very, very good. If I recall correctly, he was an Isis main back in the days where Isis was a ridiculously strong god. But coming in, going in with the China civilization. A lot of people think that this China civ is very, very weak. We see the immediate Imperial official coming out here for Avely. An interesting decision to go for this one. He chucks his mill up. He's got his lumber camp up, and he's going to be supervising his mill right now. And this is going to give him an extra 20% gather rate on these villages. So if you see that there's 7 villages here, this Imperial official is essentially acting as 7 times 0.2, which is an extra 1.4 villages right now. So the question is, when is it worth it to actually get this? And I've come to the conclusion that it's not worth it to get this unless until a little bit later. But it'll be interesting to see what Avely is going to go for here. He is against the French in this game. His opponent today in the top of the map in the red color, as the French, is Ziggy. And this is roughly top 300-ish of the Age of Empires 4 ladder right now. So these are some pretty strong players going for probably mostly meta stuff at this point. Obviously, Avely going with the Chinese is not meta because everyone considers the Chinese to be pretty weak. However, some people have been making them work. Like I've seen Drongo have some success with China against some really top players, and a lot of other cool stuff going on with other players trying out the Chinese. But we do have the French here. And the question is, how does the Chinese deal with the French? Now, you can go for super hyper aggressive rushes onto the gold mine and try and go for a gold staff to prevent knights. But oftentimes that can be just defended and you are left very far behind. So one other option is you can go for the what do you call it? Spearman, horseman kind of strategy where the horsemen deal with archers and raid and the spearmen deal with the knights. But then again, you run into a different problem whereby that only kind of gets you about even and gets you a decent castle age. There's really no advantage for the Chinese until kind of late game if you can get into like a whole bunch of nested bees and muskets. But even then, like the late game French is absurdly strong as well. So I'll be interested to see how Avely is going to approach this game and if he's going to come up with anything new here, as we do see these herdables coming back into his home base, these sheep, moving him onto the mill. I do love that he's utilizing this Imperial official so early. He's actually got 2 of them, and he's grabbing the tax as soon as it's ready. You can see when it gets 20 gold, he chucks it in. When he gets 20 gold, he chucks it in, and that's going to be able to get him his feudal age without having to build a gold vein here, which is actually a really, really interesting question. Why did he then go for the wood here when he could have just gone pure food onto the berries, onto the herdables with the Imperial official here, getting himself the gold out of this immediately and just skipping everything? But we do see a mining camp coming down now for Avely. So Avely is indicating here that he's going to want to go for a fast second town center. That's what the mining camp on the stone indicates. And we'll see if that's going to work out for him. Against the French, can definitely work, especially if the French player simply just goes pure cavalry, pure knights, and you can just lock that position down and defend. With the Barbican of the Sun, you can really defend very easily, extra 25 damage from that using the little gunshot thing, living the dream. But military landmark coming through, School of Cavalry, no surprises here. I'm yet to see anybody do anything interesting with the economic landmark for the French, getting out that early market. The most interesting thing I've seen is like sell food to buy an early Hulk or something like that. But for the most part, no one really has done anything interesting with that one. One day I would love to see like the market just get thrown up in the corner of the map and immediately start trading with the top trade post. But even then you can just build a market there and have your super School of Cavalry. There is also no bonus to the market, which is an interesting one. They basically said you can either have 150 wood or you can have 100 wood. Plus the 150 wood thing trains units faster. So which one do you want? And you go, I have the cavalry one with the more resources, please. And then you're like, okay, cool. Yeah, no worries. Whereas like the interesting one with the Rus, when they get their mark and it's a bit interesting, it's very different. You get bonus stuff. But here's the second age, the immediate second town center coming through for Avely. I actually really, really like this build here. Immediately coming through, he's going to chuck that one down on top of the gold and on top of the berry bush here. So he's going to be able to immediately jump onto that. The only problem that I'm seeing is that given he has killed all of his herdables, he's going to have to somehow defend his berry bushes from the night raids that are inevitably going to come and hit him somewhere. So obviously these villages are going to be fine. So long as he doesn't have more than 10 here, he can jump into the Barbican of the Sun as well. So it should be fine. But we are seeing a barracks coming up as Avely has spotted what's going on in Ziggy's base here as the knights are slowly starting to come out. There's kind of maybe too many villagers on gold right now for Ziggy. He needs to maybe have about 7 on gold, unless he's going for some early upgrades or something like that. He is getting his wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow is obviously one of the strongest economic upgrades you can possibly get in the early game, affecting all of the resources is huge, and you get a lot of bonus resources for that. But Ziggy has spotted that second town center of Avely as these knights are searching to come in and hit him, but right now, just playing nice and defensive. I like this play from Avely. It is very, very reminiscent of Age of Mythology playstyle, whereby early second town center, get the villagers going, get the units coming out. We do have the Imperial official taking a good look at this barrack, saying, how good are you to build me some extra spearmen very, very quickly. With this Imperial official on it, it actually trains these at 5 seconds. So you can get these spearmen out very, very quickly here in this game if you utilize that supervisability there. But Ziggy just taking it slow. Still no second town center, no villages on gold, no market, no nothing. Has some idle villages that need to get sorted out. Going to be moving those forward. So I'm expecting to see a kind of early castle age here from Ziggy from what it looks like. 10 villages on gold. Still too many. You can go 7 villages on gold, get a perfect 1,200 food, 700 or 1,200 food, 600 gold. I feel fine about that. 7's kind of the magic number on the gold mine. We do see these Royal Knights coming in, going to be sniping these hardened spearmen here. Villagers going to be retreating back. Nice little micro there from Avely here to hold this one. But the villager gets caught out here as the wall was slowly coming up, but it's just not quite enough just yet. We see another spearman coming through as these knights are going to be searching to try and take down a villager here. Will he commit to this or not? And he does commit. Nice pullback there from Avely, but still probably could have actually sniped the villager and got out without too much, given this chivalry ability here that boosts these cavalry hit points. You kind of do whatever you want here. We see the villagers still chilling over here. And we do have, I guess there is the gunpowder you have to worry about here as well. Meanwhile, we just see the scouts going at each other, both with a similar amount of damage, but Ziggy's winning at this point, and Avely simply just going to be holding on to this location. He's lost 1 villager, but he's in front on the villager count by quite a bit here. 33 villagers for Avely. Ziggy is on... Ziggy is on 33 as well. I don't know if that is because of the Imperial officials, plus the fact that we have 18 second villagers here for the French, or if Avely's just had some idle time here. And it's looking like it's mostly just down to the extra Imperial officials, because these take an extra 20 seconds to build as well. So every single one of those is an extra villager you could potentially have. That just goes to show how strong this French ability for extra villages actually is. 37 now to 35. So Avely is finally starting to pull in front here, as we are seeing these knights going to be looking to move in onto this location. They're going to feel very, very happy to run in here, because this town center doesn't actually shoot immediately. And look at how little damage these actually take. With all of those arrows out, barely half HP was done there to this Royal Knight, and he will be able to heal that one back up. And now Ziggy is on the way to the Castle Age. He's going up through the Guild Hall. This is the economic landmark, which gives him an extra amount of resources to play with. He basically just banks them in here, and the more resources you have in there, the faster they bank. And you just have to remember to check it periodically to make sure that you're not sitting there at the max amount, which I think is 2,000. Anyways, we are seeing the spearmen moving forward now, going to attempt to take down these knights as the knights retreating backwards. We see the scout. A little bit of a misclick here from Avely. I wonder if he knows about the animation cancel here. He's just going to be pushing forward to try and take this location down. We see the outpost coming up. The spears are going to be very, very big here for Avely. But the question is, what should he do? And I think the answer most of the time in this situation, when your opponent goes for like a semi-fast castle with a few knights, as you go 2 town centers, is you have time to get to the Castle Age yourself. So stop building units. go to the castle age. He is still building these spearmen. Spearmen are going to get countered pretty heavily by archers, which we don't see just yet, as the guild hall is still coming up, obviously. Avely's not going to know 100% what Ziggy's doing, but he does see the majority of the units here, and he will spot, obviously, the third age coming through when it does. And if we check out what he's actually spotted, the scout, he's not moving in. He's not going to notice it, but that's unfortunate for him, as Ziggy is making his way forward in this game. And I guess the next question is, like, what can Avely do? And I think there is, like, maybe a possibility here to go Spearman. We are seeing the archery ranges going down, but maybe go Spearman, Nest of Bees for a little bit. But I think you do want to get the crossbows out for the most part. So we see this scout getting sniped down by the Royal Knight here, as Avely not paying attention, going to be losing that one. Feels bad. Nice play from Ziggy. Unfortunate for our protagonist, Avely. Ziggy does hit the castle age now, and he's got his guild hall, and you can see it's got 0 resources to be collected. It's going to slowly start ticking up as we see those archery ranges now coming down. I'll be interested to see if we do have those Arbalatriers coming out now. They don't make a whole lot of sense at this point because of the spearmen, but predicting that potentially our Chinese player might go in for lancers here with a castle age could be an option for him to make those ones. We do see a market now coming up. Looks like Avely's going to buy himself some food. Has to throw down some farms as he's running out of all of his food over here. Not actually coming onto the hunt over on this location. So let's have his berry bushes here as well. And he's repositioning his market, making sure that he's got the room for farms around his town center here. And the knights moving around. We should be seeing an immediate upgrade to veteran knights here, but it's not happening just yet, as we are seeing the Gambesons coming through here. So that's giving away that Arbalatriers are the option now for Ziggy. So big question mark is, how do you beat Arbalatriers? And I mean, the answer is kind of, you can make those Nest of Bees are really good, but even just archers aren't a bad idea. And here comes the astronomical clock tower. This landmark is amazing. Coupled with an Imperial official, you get super fast siege plus super strong siege. As we do see those knights moving in here, we'll get a villager kill or two on this location here, and potentially also take down a spearman, as the gunpowder here not going to be quite enough to really pick anything off there. So nice play from Ziggy. Good raid there. So we can check those villagers out. 54 for Avely to Ziggy's 47. So still a small advantage, and we are seeing those Springolds coming out immediately here for Avely. Obviously, the Springolds are to counter those knights. He's not going to see the Arbalatriers coming out just yet. But Ziggy's got a lot of resources in the bank, so he's going to want to start having to spend those much, much faster. We are seeing Siege Workshop coming up as now for Ziggy as well. So this is going to be able to deal with those clockwork siege weapons of Avely fairly decently here in this game. So we'll see how that's all going to go. But right now, I'm really loving Avely's position. He's got a slight lead on villagers. He's in the castle age. He's doing fantastic. He's got the stone now to throw up a third town center, a fourth town center, if he so chooses. As we see Bloomery and Decarbonization coming through for Ziggy. Does he have a double armory up? He must have a double armory up. No, he doesn't. There's the double armory. Or blacksmith. The blacksmith up, not armory. How do you beat Arbalatriers with archers? Well, they don't get that bonus. So archers are cheaper. So you're just trading a little bit better against the crossbowmen. The crossbowmen aren't the best in that situation. But we are seeing the villagers moving down to the bottom of the map here. Probably going to chuck a town center onto this one here, as Avely's got a lot of stone here. He might be setting up for a keep, but I feel like third town center at this point is probably correct, as Avely's just going to be able to sit back and defend, and Ziggy's going to have to find something to do here. And just a little bit of housing crisis now for Avely. Ziggy's got 73 pop. Avely at 80 pop, and we are having just a little bit of a boom situation here, as the cavalry might spot these villagers, but probably not. He's probably aiming to come over onto the berry bushes at this point, looking for a big raid and see what he can do here. He's sneaking around onto this location yet again. He did get some success on this one before, but there's the town center spotting those knights. We'll see if the villagers are going to run, and that's exactly what he does do, dumping into the mill here before retreating back, leaving his spearman here to kind of die. Oh, Losing his Imperial Official as well. Not quite. Does get that one. Garrison, the Spearman, moving over onto this location. We do see the Arbiters coming in, do snipe a villager, but probably will also lose one of those as he is retreating away from that location. And Avely going to be able to get back to work here, but now the Knights looking to try and take this location down. Not a bad idea to try that one out, as there's not really a lot going on here. We do see some crossbowmen coming out. We see a monastery as well for Avely. The relics are really, really important. Obviously, some civilizations are more important than others, but you should always be prioritizing getting these. Basically, they pay for themselves. You get your monk that costs 150 gold. You move over, you grab your relic, you bring it home. That starts giving you 100 gold every minute. So in a minute and a half, you get your gold back, and then from there on, it's profit. And now we're starting to see these stone walls coming up. I have seen Avely talking a little bit about this and about how this is going to become meta. This wall, getting stone walls up nice and early, is going to be really, really tough to deal with. Playing nice and turtley, nice and defensive. This villager here is living the dream, kind of just surviving here. We see the crossbowman getting some nice cheeky damage here. The villager gets sniped. Nice play there. But Avely just out of position here with his army. He's going to have to retreat his spearmen as those Royal Knights are chasing him down. But he has 3 town centers to the 1 town center of Ziggy. Ziggy is still only 1 town center. I do not understand exactly what's going on here. We do see a mangonel out as the raid is still coming in. And Avely is going to be having a very, very nice time if he can spend his resources. Essentially, that's it. We do see a battering ram coming through here for Ziggy. So he's going for a very big all-in here. We do have all of these springles, though. So he can easily take the mangonel down, easily take the battering ram down as well, and also take those cavalry out here, as we do see the cavalry making their way in. The springles do so much damage here, but he's running straight in, and yet again the springles also die incredibly fast here to these crossbowmen. You can retreat them away. We do see the springle targeting down the mangonel. Look at that bonus damage that he does, and boom, one more shot and that mangonel will be falling here. But all the springles do look like they are falling, but not. What? He didn't finish off the mangonel. Hello? No, don't want to kill it. It's at 24 HP. And, nope. And there he goes. He snipes that one off. And Ziggy's push here has been completely thwarted. Avely is at 97 population. Ziggy is at 81 population here. These Arbiters will not last much longer. And we do see the battering ram going to be sacrificing himself onto the town center. Maybe Avely doesn't see it, but I highly doubt that. As he's going to move over here, we see this wall coming back up yet again, moving it all the way up to the top of the map. We do see a town center coming up in a very, very aggressive position here for Ziggy, as he's going to be attempting to boom his way back into the game here. As his attack here, his little timing did not work at all, and Avely is completely safe. We do have Avely in a very precarious position over here. 1,700 gold in the bank for Ziggy. 600 in the bank for Avely. I've seen this quite a lot, but generally the reason why we see this from the good players, where they start banking some gold, is that they just forget that they have to get these. They have been wanting to get these economic upgrades, and essentially that's where you spend your gold when it's big and you get your economic upgrades. Everything comes in much faster, and you live the dream. But now Avely, he's got all his units out. He's ready to start pushing forward, doing his thing. There's really no units here for Ziggy. He's very, very slow here. And the question really is, how far ahead does Avely think he is right now? Because he's not going to know. If we check out the map, he hasn't seen anything in quite a while. He's lost his scout about, I don't know, 5-10 minutes ago. So he hasn't seen anything in his opponent's base. He doesn't know if his opponent's 1 town center, 2 town centers, 3 town centers, 4 town centers. He's got no idea. We are seeing some more stone walls coming up now for Avely, as he is trying to get himself in a nice and defensive position here. And maybe this town center will spot that. Let's check that out if he's got any sort of line of sight. No, he doesn't. He does see the walls coming up over here, though. As now Avely is ready to start pushing forward, but I mean, obviously a timing attack, I can see the timing attack would work. And this is why you need a stable. You just always need to build a stable at some point in the mid game to just have a bunch of scouts to run around the map and see what's going on, because it's a tough game playing blind. It's a very, very tough game playing blind. And both players are blind right now. But more upgrades coming in for both players here, as they are slowly but surely moving forward here. And 2 town centers up. We do see our French player ready to get his 3rd town center as well. How are the economic going for Ziggy? It's at 74 villages. Avely is at 88. So it's still not that big of a differential villager-wise. But it is a differential. and it's going to matter a little bit, especially because of the army composition here that Avely's gone for. We just see a little raid coming over onto this location. A cheeky outpost coming down here to just thwart the stone wall. That's kind of funny, but now Avely going to be attempting to react to that, sending some units over onto this location here. Obviously, Avely can just reposition his wall from this location down here, just like build another corner, delete these two, and be fine. But obviously not happened just yet. Armory upgrades. We do have double or tier 2 pierce, tier 2 pierce armor, tier 2 melee armor. So that's doing good. These villagers here sitting idle for the time being as Avely playing the macro game, living the dream. More villagers getting built. Needs to get up some houses, man. You should just like go up to the Song Dynasty sometimes just to get those villagers because they're so good. We are still seeing this Imperial official chilling on the astronomical clock tower. Keep on getting those siege weapons. We do see a monk here, so we are seeing Avely in the 20th minute here. Starting to focus on these relics here. One thing that you really want to do if you go for a semi-fast castle is get your monastery and get those relics immediately, because you're the first one who has access to them. If you can get all 5, it's plus 500 gold. That's worth 10 villages, so you're probably in front on the economy, even against the fast 2 town center anyways. But now the cavalry moving in onto this location, catching Avely out actually quite badly here, as those Springolds need to retreat here, but he's not running away. He's actually just leaving those, trying to keep his crossbowmen alive. Ziggy with a beautiful attack here, as the mangonels are now starting to move in. We have 4 mangonels here. The Springolds are going to start getting built yet again. They are very, very fast with 10-second train time, but we'll see if Avely can defend this or not. But the mangonels moving in, setting up, shoot their abilities there, and look at that damage absolutely melting Avely's army here. The monks getting into the fray, but there's just not enough here to deal with this after all of those Springolds were sniped by Ziggy. Impeccable play here from Ziggy to completely demolish Avely's army. Ziggy is so far in front right now. We do see some spearmen coming over onto this location. More Springolds coming out of here, and somehow, some way, Avely is going to need to destroy these mangonels. If he can't kill them off, he's going to be in a very, very difficult position. He's got so many resources in the bank. How many military buildings does he have right now? He's got 3 barracks, 3 archery ranges, and 1 astronomical clock tower. This is a problem. Even with 4 Imperial officials kind of on top of this, you're still only looking at somewhere like, actually probably with 4 Imperial officials on each of these buildings, you probably have enough, to be honest. But you do really need to go up to about 10, 20 military buildings at some point here once you got all of the resources. But the Springolds are dealing with these mangonels very, very nicely, though the knights are going after them nice and quick. We see the spearmen going after the arbaletriers, doing some nice damage, but the Springolds have fallen here, as this mangonel's 24 HP, the other one full HP at this point, as the crossbowmen are melting everything here. And Avely is in a difficult position here for sure. He's got a lot of idle villagers, 25 idle villagers. Ziggy with none, 84 villagers here to 99. Still an advantage for Avely, but he is struggling population for sure. 104 population to 111 population. So not a big difference here, but most of that is just civilian units. And these knights just hang on for days. The Barbican of the Sun doing absolute work here. We do see the Springold popping back out yet again. We'll shoot another arrow. Doesn't quite get another arrow off. So the Mangonel will live another day. I would just love to see the Spearman going in and taking this down, because he does do a fair amount of damage. Look at this damage here. It does about 14 damage a torch here. And that's going to basically kill this this Mangonel off. It must be 18 damage a torch there. Good math by me. But Avely looks like he's held for the time being, but now we've got 2 Trebuchet coming in for Ziggy. Ziggy is seeing his opportunity to strike here. Double Trebuchet, going to start taking down the military buildings, going after the Clockwork Tower. Very, very smart play to go after that one here, because that's going to slow down those siege productions. We see the villager trying to repair this clock tower sprinkled up in order to keep that one alive, but the astronomical clock tower is falling very, very fast here. However, Ziggy, no spring ults himself. He should probably have coupled this with some spring ults here. He's got so many resources in the bank. If he just spent all of these on spring ults, he would have a commanding position here for sure. But not spending the resources is definitely allowing a big opportunity here for Avely as this astronomical tower does fall here. Nice play from Ziggy. But he's out of units at this point, so we'll see how this is going to continue. Bunch of farms up here for Avely. Still trying to get these units up. We are seeing the villagers repairing this one, trying to get that back up. But honestly, just throw down some military buildings. Spend your resources. That is all this game really is. And kind of simply, that's all this game is, you know? And now the Trebuchet retreating back home, doing their thing. As Ziggy's like, we've done some good stuff, and yeah, living the dream. We do see cheeky Sacred Site has been grabbed here. This does net you a little bit of gold, I think. It periodically generates gold for the player. I'm not sure exactly how much it is. Maybe someone in chat can tell me. But he's got that. That's going to help him out just a little bit. But still, more stuff here for Ziggy. I'm surprised Ziggy actually backed off. Obviously, doesn't want to lose the Trebuchet. These Trebuchet cost an arm and a leg at 750 resources compared to 600 resources and 400 resources for the other things. But now the Trebuchet are here. The Springles will be able to target them down. 400 HP goes very, very quickly. The Spearmen can come in and take these down as well. As Ziggy is now making the mistake that Avely made before of coming in too hot, loses both of those Trebuchet. That is huge. 1,500 resources lost there for Ziggy. Nice play for Avely as he is managing to make this work fairly decently here. More houses coming up now for Avely. You gotta get these lumber camps rebuilt. This is a lot of walking time. Lots more resources could be coming in for Avely, but I'm sure Ziggy's got a similar situation. Exactly. Look at this. Look at this. This is going to be the difference between a very strong Age of Empires 4 player and the tier 2 Age of Empires 4 players is those lumber camps for sure. Anyways, we just see this tower over here getting cleaned up. I love that the gate's up now, so Avely can just kind of wander all the way around here. I wonder if he's going to connect his stone walls up so he can just hold on there. But Avely probably just going to look to go up to 200 population here. Maybe go to the third age, or the fourth age, I should say. Ziggy, on the other hand, going to do something similar as both players. Oh, there is a fourth age coming through here for Ziggy. Where is it? What's he going for? Did you see the College of Artillery? No surprise here. Yet again, another amazing landmark for the French. They've got one amazing landmark. They've got two amazing landmarks. And they got three amazing landmarks. But this one here, extra 20% damage from the artillery will counteract the extra 20%. Is it 20%? Or 50% health? Not quite. I think the astronomical clock tower is actually better than the fourth age College of Artillery here. So let's go China. Let's go China. Lots of villages getting built here for Avely. And the question really is, will Ziggy be able to hit this timing before Avely gets to the Imperial Age or not? He's starting his trade route. I love that. A little bit of a Madrius mark. I could have put it in the corner here, but it's still good. Lots of traders queued here. He's going to get those going. He's going to have a beastly economy. We are seeing these knights sneak over this way. They might be able to sneak past this. I don't think they can. And obviously, Avely is just sitting pretty here. Sitting very, very happy with the Great Wall of China. Absolutely love that for him. And there's Ziggy's Imperial Age. But Avely also able to go to the Imperial Age right now. We'll see where he's going to throw that landmark up. He can utilize the landmark on the... Yes, he can utilize the landmark on the stone wall here. This one increases the health of stone walls gates by 100%. Nearby troops on walls deal 50% extra damage. So this landmark here is pretty rubbish, but it's also pretty good at the same time, considering the other one's not the best. But does it only work for the close proximity? It's a bit strange, but okay. Now we see the mangonels taking down this stone wall, opening everything up here. And we finally see the monk grabbing the relic. Yes, relics have been grabbed. And this stone wall is opened. But obviously, Doesn't really matter to Avely. He's just going to sit back. And the question is now, does he go in with these hand cannons, or does he go in straight with the clock tower bombards? And we are seeing those bombards coming out. The bombard versus bombard war is a real one. Springald's also very, very good against those as well. So we'll see how this is all going to go. As the monk moving over here. There's also some other crazy plays you can go with, like a side build, making like 10 barracks over here, make a bunch of spearmen and just push forward, take down all the landmarks. You kill off this, you kill off this, you kill off this, you kill off this. We are seeing some spearmen raids coming through for Avely, picking off a bunch of villages over here, while the knights have moved in to get a good amount of damage over here. And now we're seeing a bunch more barracks coming up for Avely. So he could be going to think about going for spearmen here. He is getting battle hardened, which is, or he's actually going for the Palace Guards, it looks like. Battle hardened giving an extra 30 health to these Palace Guards, but he hasn't got the elite upgrades on them yet. So we'll see how that's going to go, as the spearmen over here have been cleaned up, and Ziggy going to be moving back to the front line, as Avely just holding on here. And we see another sacred site getting grabbed now for Avely. Absolutely love that. But the bombards are what you need here. The bombard will take down this keep very, very fast. So you can get the Springald in placement for this in order to help take down the clock tower bombard as well. But we'll see what's going to happen as the bombard moving forward. It does take a lot of resources here. Look at that damage onto the catapult there, onto the mangonel. Looks like the knights say, no, you're not allowed this sacred site. I'm going to move over here and we're just going to live the dream. So hang on, let's see this. This is 10,000 HP. This is 7,000. Do they go down? They are all 7,000. Are they every single one? Jesus, they all go up to 7,000. Absolutely love that. Meanwhile, we see keeps up all over the place. Still no market set up for Ziggy, as he's over on this corner getting the gold. He will have to start thinking about that trade route. There's not a lot of gold left on the map for him. In actuality, he does have some trade. It's just going to here. So how much are they getting? 39 gold compared to 125 gold. Big difference. You see these spearmen coming over here, some villagers sneaking onto this gold mine. Avely's going to have to say no to this because he doesn't want to lose that. But we do see these elite royal knights. They're absolute tanks against the veteran spearmen. Not having elite spearmen here. Nice micro there from Ziggy, keeping his knights alive, trying to pick off all these units. But he will end up losing all of the knights. And Avely is held for the time being. But it is looking scary here. Avely at 192 population. Ziggy at 152 population. But Ziggy could go up to full population here. We are seeing some royal culverins coming up. These ones we've got, these are basically the French unique Springald. Basically exactly the same. I think they could kind of do the same amount of damage. 102, 204 against Siege versus the 80 against Siege. But they're obviously from this landmark here. And they cost a lot of resources as well. Nice play here, taking down those units. Need to somehow take down the culverins and the cannons as well. But Ziggy pushing in. He's got the army strength here, but the numbers are definitely in favor of Avely. We'll see if he's going to be able to win this fight or not. He needs to get those Springalds to target down those culverins. Otherwise, they just do so much damage, and that's exactly what's happening right now. So much damage onto the siege of Avely. Avely now pushing forward, going after the culverins here. Nice play trying to destroy those, and he does just about manage to take that down one before having to go after another one. But the culverin does manage to take one of Avely's down as well. And now Ziggy moving back in. We do have a bunch of idle crossbowmen here that should get more into the fray. That Springald blows up there. As potentially the answer here for Avely is to just make a ton of those palace guards, push in and snipe down this with the torches. Isn't a bad idea at all. And we'll see how he's going to go. Meanwhile, this keep is here doing its thing. And up on the top, we do see a random elite knight here just chilling as we see some more units popping out here. As Ziggy 140 pop, Avely 174 pop. And we see the cannon coming in here. The bombard will be able to take down the culverin. Nice play, and he will be very happy with that, as we are seeing these trebuchets trying to take down the keep and doing so very, very quickly. Do we have a university up? No university here for Avely. That's definitely one of those things that a lot of the mythology players are going to forget about, the university. We do see no university as well for Ziggy, as that's a big mistake from both players, because there's some very strong upgrades in those buildings in the university. See the culverins coming back in, are taking down these bombards very quickly. Send the palace guards at them. Send them at them. Just attack you. You're so far in front. We are seeing some hand cannons coming in right now for Ziggy. He's going to be doing a ton of damage with them, but the crossbowmen are here, as it's looking like Avely's going to have to think about a different port of call here in order to take this win. Seeing some villagers sneaking in. We do have a trebuchet coming through right now. More bombards coming out for Avely at this point. Now he's going after the keep. Wants to take that one down. These villagers potentially going to throw up their own keep on this location. Oh, he's already got one, but maybe another one wouldn't be a bad idea. But right now, both players just targeting the same area. I want you guys to say this with me. There's a whole map out there. Build everywhere and live the dream. All of this location could be barracks right now. Imagine all this location is barracks. Avely can do whatever he wants, send in huge raids onto the landmarks. Same thing for Ziggy. Should be taking those areas there, but not happening. Not happening. We see the bombard taking down another culverin now, as Avely is looking like he is pulling ahead in this game, ready to move forward. Ziggy 135 or 190 population, Avely 200 population. And we see this stone wall coming back up over here in order to hold on to this location. Probably see a gate come through very shortly. How long is this keep going to attack this stone wall for before it falls? That's the real question. Are you going to throw the gate down? Hello? Gate? There he goes. Throws this gate down, opening it up. And we really do have Avely role-playing here as the Chinese dynasty that it is. It even looks like the Great Wall of China. It's absolutely beautiful. And now we see the town center starting to get sieged down. And it will fall very quickly, as Ziggy needs to work out a way to get to full population here. As he is pulling back, 135 or 190. Has a lot of resources in the bank. He could go up to like full archers, for example. He is making horsemen, but if he's going to make horsemen, he needs to get those upgrades, because if they have no upgrades, they're incredibly weak. 155 HP compared to a palace guard 110 HP. It's just not going to cut it at all. We do see a keep coming up in the face of Ziggy, utilizing that Chinese bonus there. The build faster bonus. The clock tower counterweight trebuchet will lose its life very fast here, as Ziggy manages to snipe that one off. This keep is up. The keep is up now for Avely, as well as this town center will fall very quickly as well. The bombard will be able to take this down incredibly quickly. And it's looking like Ziggy is starting to falter here in this game. Now both players can just shoot arrows at each other's. The villagers trying to repair this one up. Another thing the university could be helping with is making his building stronger. We do see a cheeky cannon coming in. Gets a little bit of damage done onto this one. The villagers can repair this back up very quickly. That's exactly what's going to happen here. Turns his bombard around to start sniping down the cannon. Nice play. We do see the horsemen making a big charge in here. The spearmen are going to come in and attempt to deny this one. Nice play here, but he's going after that bombard, fully sacrificing everything on it. But the villagers repairing it too much, and Ziggy is going to say, look, you're too good for me. Avely, I'm going to let you have this win. And Avely wins this one. China versus France. We get a Chinese victory. Really nice play. I loved the slow play here from Avely. Obviously, I think there's a lot of like holes in Ziggy's play, but I love that slow play from Avely, utilizing a lot of the bonuses that China has to offer. And he managed to come out very much in front in this game. GG, well played. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTubes, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment, and leave a like. And I will see you guys in the next game.